All right, sounds good. Yeah, I'm Sergeant Phil Krinsky. That's PhilKrynSky with the City of Phoenix Public Affairs Bureau.
What happened here earlier this morning?
So we're currently investigating an officer-involved shooting that occurred early this morning. Officers were in the area of 91st Avenue and Lower Buckeye Road just behind me when they found a vehicle, a pickup truck, stopped in the roadway. There was a man behind the wheel that was passed out. Our officers were able to block in the vehicle, and during that time they also learned that the vehicle was stolen. Once the vehicle was blocked in, the driver woke up, attempted to drive off. The vehicle remained stuck in this area, so the driver got out. Once the driver got out, he did have a handgun in his possession. The suspect then pointed the handguns at officers as he was running into the neighborhood to the southwest. Officers were able to use less lethal tools trying to stop the man, but they were ineffective. Additional units came to the area to be able to search for the suspect. They were able to locate him, and that's when the officer-involved shooting occurs. After the shooting, the man continues to run back into the neighborhood, and we maintain that perimeter. We have members from our special assignments unit that responded, and they were able to locate the man in a neighborhood nearby. So he was taken into custody after the use of less lethal tools. Fortunately, nobody was injured in this incident, and currently the suspect is in custody and being interviewed by detectives as we speak.
Where was he in the neighborhood when they took him into custody?
It was near a residence where he was taken into custody.
Okay, so he wasn't inside of a house?
No, he did not make it inside a residence.
What
From
time,
the information we have preliminarily.
what time was all of this?
So it started at 3:15 is when approximately the time that the officers located him. The officer-involved shooting happened probably about a few minutes after that. The search took definitely over an hour. I just don't have the specifics for you.
And so when he initially ran away from the truck and into the neighborhood, was there an exchange from gunfire between both officers and the suspect?
No, there was not. But again, our detectives are still looking into it.
Can you talk about what happens next? Where this, obviously officers are still here investigating, it's still blocked off.
So currently the intersection will remain restricted while detectives process the scene. As you can tell, it's pretty extensive because it takes the whole intersection and also an area in the neighborhood. But as they come through it, making sure we're going through surveillance video and so forth and speaking to all witnesses, it will be a while till we get this. But again, I'm happy to report nobody's been injured in this and the suspect is in custody.
When you say the suspect was passed out, do you mean asleep or medically?
That's something that hopefully our detectives will be able to answer as they go through and collect evidence.
And then the car that was stolen, obviously, did he steal it, or do we know the history about this car?
I can tell you that the vehicle is stolen. As far as how it's stolen, how it got to that area, it's still part of the investigation.
We also heard that the suspect was maybe wearing a ski mask. Do you know anything about that or what he was wearing?
As far as the specific attire that he has, again, that's information that our detectives are trying to verify, and we should have answers to that as the investigation continues.
Age?
I can tell you he's an adult male. As far as age specifics, again, that's something we're trying to verify his identity.
From a traffic standpoint, how long do you expect this to be completely shut off?
I would expect this to probably shut off until the afternoon rush hour.
Do we know how long that truck has been reported stolen or when it was initially reported stolen?
Those facts are still part of the investigation to the stolen vehicle.
Okay, and then just to clarify, at any point, do officers believe that the suspect discharged his weapon at all? I know he obviously pointed at them, but did he discharge at any point? Do we know?
That's something we're hoping that our detectives will be able to get once they're able to comb through the evidence and speak to witnesses.
What are you informing of residents in that neighborhood area, since it is obviously an extensive investigation right now?
We do ask for their patience. Again, we want to make sure this investigation gets the time that it deserves. So our detectives are going to be thorough, making sure we speak to everybody, collect all the evidence. So it is going to be several hours.
So would you just be able to clarify one more time, did officers shoot at him or did he shoot at officers at any time, and when did that take place?
So when he initially got out of the vehicle, again, I don't have any information currently that says there was any exchange of gunfire. What I can tell you, though, is when they reacquired him in the neighborhood after he ran off, that's when the officer-involved shooting occurred. Now, whether he discharged his weapon or not, again, that we're hoping we're going to have those information once our detectives will comb through the evidence.
But we can confirm non-lethal rounds were fired.
Yes, there was non-lethal used by us towards him on multiple occasions in trying to de-escalate the situation and get him to give up.
I was just trying to understand when you said that's when the officer-involved shooting occurred, you meant that's when officers fired a non-lethal round at him or they fired gunfire?
We fired both non-lethal rounds to him initially when he got out of the vehicle and also when he was taken into custody. However, when they located him in the neighborhood, those were actually handgun rounds fired by the officers.
Okay, I'm sorry, I was there, you had me, and then all of a sudden I got confused. So, suspect is passed out in the truck, officers block him in. suspect takes off running.
Correct.
Officers at that point fire non-lethal rounds
Correct.
at the person, but he keeps running.
Correct.
Once in the neighborhood,
They find him again.
they find him again.
That's-
Actual shots are fired from officers. It's being investigated if he fired shots at officers. And then when they took him into custody, non-lethal rounds were fired.
Correct. You got it.
Okay, all right.
See, you had it from the beginning.
Welcome to the morning show.
We also heard that a vehicle was like speeding down the road super early, moments before, or 10 minutes or so before the shooting happened. Were there reports of that truck doing a burnout or something like that in this intersection before it was found at the intersection?
Whether that instance related to this officer-involved shooting or not, I can't tell you that because our detectives are still trying to speak to witnesses and verify the information. So it's still early in the investigation.
How were officers notified of this area? Was just someone driving by and noticed the truck stalled out? Was a 911 call made?
The information I received is that the officers actually drove up and found the vehicle stopped in the roadway with the driver passed out behind the wheel.
If he was passed out, maybe was his foot like on the pedal? Was the engine revving or anything like that? Because we heard witnesses hear like a lot of revving before all this went down.
Before the vehicle was blocked in, that information I don't have, but I know once the vehicle was blocked in, he did attempt to flee. So yes, there was a revving of vehicle and screeching of tires. Again, it's one of those things. It's some of the dangers that our officers face every day with this, and it did create a huge hazard. But again, they were able to contain it, and because of their actions, the man took off on foot instead of the vehicle.
So was the suspect injured at all then when he was taken into custody?
So he was checked out by the fire department. He was cleared, and now he's currently at police headquarters being interviewed.
Thank you.
No